Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Kissy. So today I have a message to share. And the first thing, um, I guess we can speak on the topic again of spiritual warfare. I just made a post in regards to that. It seems like a thing based on the energies. I'll be honest. I was in severe prayer mood last night. And I just heard, what did they say? They said, "Oh, there's okay, I guess I don't know if they're saying that they're stopping or that they're fighting the military from killing our dinosaurs." Now take that, it's obviously just a game on TV. Not even, yeah, it's a YouTuber playing a video game. And what he said was that they fought against the military or that they're fighting against the military to stop them or that they stop them from killing our dinosaurs. So take that message as you will, but um, think of dinosaurs as our elderly, our older, parents, grandparents, um, maybe just authority figures in general. But am I saying that that's what's going on? No, I'm just saying that's the message that's coming through, and that the message of spiritual warfare came through because I was actually guided to a video today that, which I shared, and it led me to the Bible verse, Ephesians 6:12, which is about we're not in a battle with the flesh. Um, this is a spiritual war. Now it made me consider all the experiences that I've had in relationships, connections, jobs, everything you can imagine, like everything to do with the human experience, of course, is, relating to it. And what I realized was I encountered three different types of narcissistic, um, I guess you can call them like traumatic abuse or whatever, because it's something that you you don't know it's abnormal until you're getting out of it. You know what I mean? And you don't even know what you're getting out of. You just know you're getting out. But as you're getting out and you know, I remember when the first time I encountered something that was, and this is a true indicator. If you're in a relationship and it's really messing with your mind, that's it. And it's leading you to figure out what this is, you're dealing more than likely with a narcissistic dynamic. I mean, is it actual full-blown narcissistic abuse? It depends on your circumstance. My point is that that's just a red flag. That, one of the quickest red flags that I've come to understand is anyone that has your mind confused, do your best to quickly notice that and pull away. Just pull away. And I'll tell you why I can say that with certainty, because that's the onset behavior that I have not yet seen it become uh turn into a positive. You know what I mean? Like there's no point in investing time, energy, and space. And I'll tell you why. Imagine being in a dynamic in a relationship from the beginning, like from literal day one, you're getting these red flags, red flags, red flags. You don't know what these red flags mean. You just know that these are red flags. But instead of just exiting because you're like, oh shit, these are huge red flags, I should know. But you don't know them. So you don't know how big they actually are. All you know is this doesn't feel right. So what I end up doing is I confront it right away. The minute something fell off, and it's usually right away, like a dumbass, I'm like, inquiring, like, what is this? What are you doing? Looking for the validation from that person under the assumption that that person actually has good intentions for me and are going to be honest with me and are actually um, mindful or conscientious of what they're doing. So I actually I went into this dynamic head first. Nope, just not even on a whim, I, you know, I feel you. I vibe with you. Now, what is it that attracts us to the narcissist? I can't even tell you. Like, it feels, perhaps it's because it's our desire that gets triggered, or our source of power gets triggered um, in those dynamics. Okay. Our own will, we give, something attracts you and you want to give your power to it. Why would you want to do that? Unconsciously, it's an unconscious thing. It's like you you look up to this, or you value this. You give it so much value that to you it's like, I want to give my all to you, like a fucking dumbass. But anyways, let me not do that. um. So okay. So the first encounter, or the first major, actually, shit. If I was to be really honest, I have so many stories I can tell of so many different people. Because that's the other thing. As you progress through life, right? Growing up, you'll have like your first like bully type energy, or the first person that triggers your insecurity, or the first person that tries to make you feel small, or the first person that tries to make you feel inadequate or whatever. And you make excuses for them. You're like, you're sad about it. You're like, but why? But why are you upset with me? Because you're an innocent and you're taking it personal and you're thinking, what did I do? I can fix it. Why are you mad at me? What did I do? That's like the first thing. But then you start to grow out of that and you're realizing, wait, you're fighting back. And you're like, what do you mean? And you'll argue, no, you're at fault. No, I'm at fault. No, you're at fault. And you go through this back and forth of, it's your fault or my fault. And depending on the dynamic, depending on the, personalities and whatnot, temperaments, you'll have, it'll depend on how long and how far things can go, from just, mocking and teasing and silent treatments to outright abusive, neglectful, and viciously cruel, and um, painfully just plain old abusive. That can take however long it takes you to realize that this person, that you can't get out of the grips of loving the person, or wanting to be uh, attached to someone that you believe you genuinely have feelings for. And confusing our feelings, yeah, you have a lot of feelings for this person. It doesn't mean that those feelings are actually in your benefit. You might have a lot of feelings for someone because you're getting triggered to have these feelings, but the tie itself, the emotional tie and the mixing of energies, puts you in such a vulnerable situation that getting out of dynamics that you gave your will to takes courage, takes strength, takes strategy, takes focus to figure out your exit. And what these people don't realize is that there's like a time ticker within that will let us know. You start a connection with someone and it's like, hey, hey, oh, it's like the love meter is on. Kaploop, and you're like, do, 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 on the love meter. So it's like a roller coaster of love and you're all happy. But then all of a sudden you feel the glitch. It's like clink. It's like, oh, what was that? Like a ticker. And that would be like the first incident, the first slight, the first meanness, the first shocking, you know, antagonizing situation. And of course, everybody, has weird ways of expressing and triggers and traumas and stuff. So you're considerate of that and you think you don't want to react to that. I'm not going to react to how mean you are right now. So let me ask you, why are you being so mean? And all you're expecting is a adult conversation that says, sorry I reacted, or well, what you did was, this is what you did, and how do you not see this? But explaining it in a way that, would make sense. All you're looking for is give me an explanation that makes sense, that, you didn't just act out mean because you're just a mean ass person. You acted out mean as a defense mechanism, you acted out mean as a protective mechanism of some sort, or you did so because I truly crossed the boundary. Explain that, right? But they don't do that. So because they don't do that, you end up in these like freaking battles, but you don't realize you're in these battles like that. You think you're fighting for love and that's what you're doing. You're fighting for the relationship. You're fighting for us to connect. You're fighting for us to get to a mutual ground. And you end up realizing that was never the thing. They're not fighting to save they're fighting to win. And you're like, oh shit, they're fighting to win. I'm not. This isn't about winning for me. This is about being close to you. And if I have to like strategize for you to treat me nice, or now I gotta yield to you and do whatever you want, whenever you want, however you want, and like I don't, and whenever I want to do something or say something or whatever. Nah, it's like, come on, I'm sure you know of at least one person that you hang out together and you're always doing what they want to do, or you're always listening to whatever they want to listen to. And there's nothing wrong with that in the sense that as long as you're good with it, you're good with it. But let's say that you finally, that one day you just like, I'm not in the mood for this. Can we do this? I really want to go to this one place I haven't been to in a long time, or I want to just see this. And you want person to be as enthusiastic as you, or be like, sure, we can do that, but let me, I gotta arrange my schedule, whatever. There's always a way to go about it. Doesn't have to be on the spur of the moment. But imagine doing that and the person's like, I don't want to do that. Like anything that you're doing or wanting, like you're invisible. So the relationship is obviously it's a one-sided relationship. It's all about their needs, their wants, and the whatever. And they don't even like you like that. You're like their little sidekick. You're like the little, come on, follow me. Let's, I got to do this. I got to do that. Come with me, come with me, come with me. And it's fine. You got a busy schedule, busy life. You're moving things, you're making things happen, and you want a companion with you. Okay, sure. I'll be your companion. Let's go. I'll companion you to wherever you need to go and whatever you need to do. But when it comes down to, all right, now I want you to focus on me. Now I want you to do what I want to do or come with me. Like let me lead. Let me lead now. Meaning, and by that I mean like, let it be about me today. I used to actually have like a sticker that I put on my fridge before I was married, and it said, I think that's what it said, love me like the goddess I am. And then there was another one that said, it's all about me. And obviously that was, I was in a stage where I was building my own sense of self-worth and self-love, but it was always misconstrued. It was always looked at like, "Oh, how dare you? How dare you think so highly of yourself? How dare you think you're a queen, a goddess?" And it's like, do you know how fucking hard it was for me to even consider myself acceptable in life? Do you know what I mean? Like, get the fuck out of here. You have no clue what I need to do with me so that I am as confident as I can be with myself. You know what I mean? Not confident to prove anything to you or to anybody out there. Confident for myself, for me to actually walk in a room and feel this is who I am, own it, love it, want it, appreciate it, value it, and disregard the mean looks, the snarly remark, the condescending stares, or the mocking in the sidelines, or laughing and giggling, that kind of shit to and I'm talking about in any kind of social situation, to be able to do that and not feel small and not feel like wanting to burst in tears and cry and not feel like you want to punch a bitch in the face. You need a lot of self fucking control. And and that's what I was doing. And I'm explaining this so that you understand. The only way I know how to explain the process of dealing with narcissists, this is how it progressed for me. And so what I'm saying is, you come into this world and you're thinking like, oh, okay, I love everyone here, who I love, and I want to hug you and kiss you and squeeze you and and love those people I love. And then those same people will reject you, or they'll treat you mean, or they'll be cruel, or they'll, you know, abandon you in ways, not necessarily like abandon you, leaving you to defend for yourself necessarily, but abandon you emotionally in some ways, leaving you, throwing you to the wolves to figure it out, like without any lesson, without any training, without telling you the world is an ugly place sometimes, my dear. And people, and you know what I mean? Like, all I knew was this is all I was given. If a man says, trust me, don't trust him. And that was from my father. My mother's advice was, um, mostly always, she was always giving me advice on people with envy. Oh, they're just jealous. They're just jealous. And it's like, really, mom? Not everybody can be no, they're just jealous. But you gotta say, if you're not motivating people to be cruel to you, or do certain things to you out of no, you know what I mean? Like, to sabotage your efforts, to criticize your creations, to crash talk or try to ruin your reputation, all those things, excluding you, not adding you, not putting you, keeping you out on because they believe you don't deserve it, not because you're incapable, but because they don't want you. This is my ex-husband, motherfucker. He actually told me this. He was dumb. He, or is, actually said his friends one time were complimenting me they had just seen me. I guess I came over to bring lunch or something weird like that. And his friends had complimented me. So, of course, when it's all said and done at the end of the night and you're conversating, you know, I hadn't met his friends before, these particular friends before. And so it was only natural to ask. So, did your friends say anything? What did they think? He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, oh, they didn't say anything like, about me, what they thought of me or anything. Nothing, right? So I was like, okay. I mean, I'm only speaking based on like what, if I would have brought over my person to my job or to meet my friends or whatever, and at the end of the night I would be asked, so how'd it go? What did your friends say? I would be honest and say, oh, they thought this of you. Oh, they said that. Oh, they're very pleased or whatever. And were they really happy, for us? That kind of stuff. That's what I was just looking for, the positive feedback of what, his peers thought of his partner. And he didn't say nothing. And eventually he ended up admitting that he didn't tell me because he didn't want to gas me up. He didn't want to gas me up. His newlywed wife, he did not want to gas up. So that's how it is. They don't want these people. They don't want, because you're not really looking for them to validate you in what you're doing. You're just doing what you like to do, or you're just being how you are or how you like to be. There are people that frown upon that, and you make enemies very easily. Now, maybe I'm just speaking from uh, planetary alignment wise. I associate it with Pluto in the 12th house in Libra, opposing my sun in Aries in the 6th house. So that's the dynamic I see. But I also see um, my relationships have always been uh, of an enemy, hidden enemy, and obviously, but it wasn't until recently that there's a deeper meaning of the hidden enemy. There's just like when you're caught up in your life and you're like, oh yeah, this went like this, and yeah, I don't talk to those people anymore. No, no, we're not friends anymore. We're not like, and then you look at a course of a lifetime and you're like, shit, like all the people that I thought were people that I can be in a relationship with that I trusted, there was a hidden motive behind the connection. There was a very evil, dark motive behind it. And the dark motive was, you know, that there wasn't real, genuine love. It was a manipulative connection. So obviously, I went far into the details and I lost track of, the point that I was making. But I said that the first, red flag is when you're just there in a happy train of love, and all of a sudden you get the first little bump or the first little glitch and you question it, and the reaction is horrific. You cannot engage in a real conversation. And from there, you don't realize that you're in a battle. It's useless. You don't realize that you're fighting to stay stuck in hell. You don't realize that you're fighting to be mistreated. You don't realize that you're fighting to be somebody's slave. You don't realize that you're fighting to for someone to be your worst enemy. But obviously, I didn't sign up for that on purpose. I'm like, hey, I'll be the person for you to, treat like shit all day. And it's not about a lack of self-esteem. It's not about because that's the kicker. People will be like, why the hell would you have been in a relationship like that? Because the fact that they lack courage, they lack um being honest, it's based on a lot of manipulation. So like for example, you know, in private, they don't have a spine because they don't like you would never imagine to pretend to be slow or dumb. You would never if you're normal, you're actually trying to show your competence. You're actually trying to show, look, I'm capable. You're not necessarily looking to impress others, but you're trying to at least be um hey, look, I have something to offer here. And it's again, maybe that's a people pleasing thing. It could be very much, but even at the human interaction, you know what I mean? Like you want to be agreeable. And that was me being agreeable, assuming that that's what was necessary in a relationship with these people. But because I was blind to the undertones that were happening, 'cause I was believing that there was such a thing as face value. I believed that to take someone on their word meant something. I believed that, you know what I mean? Like I grew up with believing that honesty is the best policy. And, when you love someone, you're going to be very honest and open with them. And and this experience has taught me that how twisted a person can be and how far they're willing to go And then you wonder, like, what was the whole point of that? Like, did you really have to go through all those manipulative ways? See, the thing is, they don't go into it with the intention necessarily to like long term play you. They go into it long term benefit. How am I going to milk this cow? And they find ways to, whether it's status that you provide for them, whether it's um just, they in their eyes, they're picking the person that they think is going to give them attention, that is going to get them attention for whatever reasons, whether it's the work you do, how you look, whether it's um, how awesome you look in that outfit, whatever the case, however their mind works. Um, there's some kind of benefit that they're getting from you that is worth keeping your eyes closed to who they really are. So they want you to believe that you are this, you know, person that they can't live without. They'll manipulate you, they threaten to take their life if you leave them. They'll cry, they'll beg, they'll they'll swear up and down. They haven't, it's like there's no sense of pride at all whatsoever when they're trying to keep you believing that they love you to keep you there. And then you think it's because they love you. You think, oh my God, look how far they'll go to love me. Look how far they're willing to go to prove that they'll never hurt me like this again, that they'll never do something this cruel again. And what is cruel? What can we say is cruel realistically in a romantic partnership? I don't know. Would you say that perhaps talking to your ex on your wedding night for like an hour in the room is cruel? Would you say that picking up your best friend from work and taking him on a night on around town because he's visiting from out of town? Hey, I'm in town. Oh, let me just show my friend around on the night of my wedding. And we were supposed to just go pick him up and bring him to the house so we could celebrate our wedding night. But he instead picked up his friend and drove around downtown to show him a good time on our wedding night. So, very extremely obvious red flags. I mean, on the day of my wedding night, I was threatening to divorce. I need to get divorced. Before I got married, I was saying, I can't get married to you. So why did I? Why did I produce two children and stay so long in that relationship when the beginning of it was that clearly effed up? Why would I do that? Some would say blinded by love. I say severely manipulated emotionally, and may not, some will say, no, no, that makes no sense. Well, it does, because yes, the obvious, I can look at it now and I can tell a young girl and say, listen, this guy's a player. Get the fuck out of that. Leave it alone. Don't cry for it again. Don't call him again. These are mind games, emotional games. I can call it out, every little move. But when you're blinded by your emotions for that person, that overwhelming, or that, not overwhelming, overvalued emotion, why would you set such a high price for yourself? You know what I mean? Like, why would you give it such a high value? Loving this person, like how you feel for this person, because it feels so big, it feels so grand, it feels so much. You feel so much, you assume that's love. No, you feel so much because there's a lot of energy there. There's a lot of power there. But is it power that's being misused? And why is there so much power? Why is there such a big power there? And why is it that you sense it? Because what you're doing is you're receiving, as a divine feminine, the masculine's energy. But his version of love might not be your version of love. And as you process this big emotion, it's a big emotion, but is it all love? No, it's just his emotion, a big body of emotions that washes over you from this person. There could be a lot of hate in there. There could be a lot of pain in there. There could be a lot of dark energy in there, unchecked energies. And you would assume that, oh, this big love. And you're overwhelmed by this big force that overtakes you. But you're receiving it through your lens of love. You think it's flowers and rainbows. And this person's version of love is skeletons and skulls, whatever. You see? And I'm not saying that um that it's always the case in that same way. I'm being very it seems evasive right now. I feel like I'm not being very clear. But mm, I'll just mention the three levels. So the first level of narcissism that I experience is like everyone, the obvious one, the obvious, overt narcissist, the typical, this person gets attention, they're in the limelight. Wow, everybody's bedazzled by their charm and all that stuff. That's the obvious one. What you don't realize about that type of narcissist is that they can put on that, they project that front that everybody just loves them, but they also have a lot of hate. They can have a lot. They're not I'm not saying everybody that shines brightly and loved by everyone is a hateful person because people project onto them. What I'm saying is that you can't just be taken over by how loving they look, how charming they are, how much power they have, and how it seems like they're so great. You have to be willing to see beyond that physical. Now, so let's say in my case, I learned that lesson. I was like, oh shit, I guess I have to go beyond the physical. I can't just get blinded by love. Like, oh my God, he's a perfect man. And I'm like, wow, I have to, I have to marry him. That's a naive, young-minded love will think. It's like, get caught up in the beauty and the pizzazz, the glam, the ideal. It's a perfect ideal in the physical. You can see it visually. And then you realize, you know, the package was nice, but the content in it was despicable. So it's like, okay, I learned that lesson. Next. And then you move on with your life and you stop looking at things just on a superficial. You start getting to know people. And so you start thinking, like, wow, you know, you'll start to notice there's a lot of good looking people that are not very nice. And there's a lot of not good looking people that are very nice. And not to say that all, you know what I mean? Like, not everything is all good looking or, no, you got nice, there's obviously nice, good looking people and mean, not good looking people. But what I'm saying is how it happened for me was I, it's the way it developed was get taken over by the physical and learn that behind the scenes it wasn't that. And then maybe you learn to like look deeper and you connect to people on an emotional level and you think this is what's important. So the covert narcissist is a master at this. They make you feel everything that they want you to feel. And they really know how to play with feelings because that's what they had to do to compensate for what they don't have on the physical. They may not look the part very well. They may not be the ideal person, and they know it. They know they're not as attractive as that one over there. There's that insecurity in them that doesn't allow them to be like that overt narcissist. Overt narcissist is like very confident. I'm fine. Damn girl, I'm too fine to die. This is how they are. Like, okay, that's their thing. So it's like you have to be really, you know, extremely confident can be extremely delusional, right? So that's one thing. But then you have this individual that's not as confident. So because they know that, they have to make up for it in strategy. So this is a type that will study the human emotions, the human mind, the human psychology, the blah, blah, blah. And they go through all that shit. These are the ones that go into occult magic and all of that. Anything, anything, anything. And then they go into partnerships with strategy. It's a game for them. It's never about love, but they love to play the game of love. They love to lure you. They love to see how easily you fall for it. They laugh at your innocence of in love. You know what I mean? Like, look at this person. They're just being taken over by their feelings. They have no control of how they feel. Look, look, look. I'm going to piss them off right now. Look, look, look. I'm going to make them cry. Look, look, look. I'm going to make them holler. I'm going to make them laugh. I'm going to make them scream. This is how they look at the world. They take pleasure in playing with your feelings. Now, the key to their charm or the key to keeping them around long enough is how hidden they do it because they are about the long game. They know, how do I put it? They know that there's power in secrecy or in keeping things hidden. The the narcissist that is overtly narcissistic, right? I forgot what they call them, like the glam ones, the ones that think that they're all that in a bag of chips, like they say. Those they don't think too much. They're just it's almost like opportunities just come to them easier. And so it's like, how can I say no to this? It's like, I mean, they just threw themselves at me. Or they just, they just love me. So they offered this to me. Like they have a hard time saying no. So they end up, getting caught up in things and they get careless because they're so loved. I mean, even if they did get caught, they'll get forgiven. That's how they think. But the other one knows is like, once the illusion's gone, they're gonna see that they don't really like me. They know this. They're very aware that without the illusion, they can't have you. They knew they aimed real high for you and they can't have you like that. They can't just come as themselves because they know they're shit. And they can't come as themselves because they know they would never like why? Why? And I'm not talking about in an arrogant way. They just know they don't got that. They just don't. So those are very dangerous because they're very aware of their no, what's the word? They're very aware of their inabilities, I guess, whatever. So they overcompensate. This is a person that will aim to please you to keep you happy. They want to be the best in something for you, whether it's sex, whether it's cooking, whether it's whatever it is. They want to take care of you. Here, here, here. Let me take care of you. Let me take care of you. Here, they want to make themselves so um, useful to you, but it's all to please you so that your defenses are super low and they can rob you blind. They can cheat on you. They can do it all. And you'd never wink an eye. You're thinking you're sleeping safely at night. Hmm. And what you don't realize is they made you so, so comfortable believing that they are loyal to you that they get away with murder. Because at least with the overt narcissist, you're always on alert with them because you're aware this is a catch. Why? Because you're looking at them like you're a catch. And however, I mean, your aims can be low, but to you they're a catch, right? And And you notice that they gravitate attention or that they can get things in ways because the same things that attract you to them attract other people to them. And you notice their charm really works. And so you know that this person isn't lacking attention or isn't lacking. So it puts you in a position of keeping up, or puts you in a position of staying alert, or puts you in a position to maintaining and, keeping up what got him in the first place or what got her in the first place, whatever. You want to keep up. You want to stay on par. You want to do, that would be like a healthy ego. That gives me like, think of like Olivia Pope and Mr. President. I forgot what his name was in the show. I'm talking about Scandal, where it's like, this is fucking president. I mean, she helped make him a president, right? So he's just a senator when she's just like a rep. What I forgot what she was, like a PR rep or whatever the hell she was with him. But they were both equally successful in their own way. He became president because he's he got it going on. So, but she also, he can't even, like, there is no comparison for him when it comes to her because what she's got going on helps him. He depends on her insight. So she's, equal in his eyes. Now, that's a healthier, I guess, dynamic than the former that I was talking about. But my point is that would have been a normal relationship. But with the narcissist, it's like you see them that way and you assume they see you that way, but they never see anyone as good as them. They never see anyone as their equal. They never see anyone. And you might be like to them, you're the best of the pick for today, or you're the highest prize, or you're the biggest bang for my buck. So that's how they choose. They choose by what's better. And obviously, we all want what the better choice is. But sometimes, when it comes to love, you're willing to bypass certain things, you're willing to overlook certain things, or you're willing to work through certain things because you know nobody's perfect. And you wouldn't, once there's feelings involved or there's a connection that's deeper than, the physical, you have a certain like loyalty in you that wants to be like, I accept you as you are, I like that you want to aim for perfection if that's your nature, but you don't have to be more than what you are here and now. How you are is great. It's perfect for me. We're equal here. I respect you, you respect me. We admire each other. We have our purpose, our goals. We're working together. That's normal, but a narcissist doesn't see it that way. So that's where they kind of drop the ball because they don't know how to reciprocate that same kind of admiration, that same kind of respect, that same kind of um, awe-inspired love, I guess, for the other. So the covert narcissist would end up being very slick about how they show their hand. Their mask is dependent on it's dependent on you believing their innocent act, you believing their supportive role. And here's the thing, they don't have a problem pretending to not know things and to be less than you because their goal is for you, because the way that they look for you to parent them, basically to take care of them. Either, you know oh, you have the better home, okay, I'll go to you. Or you have more money? Cool. I can live off you. That means I can leave my job now, or that means I can suddenly get fired. And they see a free meal ticket. Whereas the overt narcissist necessarily, because they get things so easily and they can get people, hey, do you mind? I want that job over there. We'll get it done just for you. Don't worry. We'll get you the application. We'll do everything for you. And this person just, they get things done for them with their charm. So they don't really struggle with getting what they want. The undercover one, the hidden one, the covert, I think right? The covert narcissist. They know they can't do shit for themselves. So they look for the person that can do the most for them for the least amount of effort on their part. So your independence is like, wow. Your ability to think and your ability to do, they'll put you in a very masculine position real quick, feminine. And so, and you're thinking, I'm just doing what I'm doing, but now I gotta shit. Now you're getting more responsibility because their problems become your problems. Their fears become their worries become your worries. And you're trying to resolve it for them because they can't resolve it for themselves. They already proved it. They get overwhelmed so easily when things go wrong that you feel like you got to fix everything for them. I mean, they have a meltdown because the coffee was too cold. They go, like, can I work like this? And you're like, oh my God, serious? Here, look, let's microwave this bitch. 10 seconds, that's all it took for you to have your nice warm coffee. Are you better now? And then they have a tantrum because of that, because you were short, or because you treated them that way with an attitude, or because you responded sarcastically, or because you looked at them like a infantile fool. Now all of a sudden, now you're having a 10-hour discussion of how evil and mean you are. This is a fucking adult, bro. Like this isn't a child we're talking about. But that's the lesson to understand. If I knew then what I know now. The narcissists are actual undeveloped uh underdeveloped children that never actually develop. They're out of their childhood wound. So therefore, they're like not really an actual adult. They're like an incompetent adult. And on top of that, they could even be a dead soul. I mean, like a dead spirit, in the sense that it's like, have you ever tried talking to somebody that's like, and now obviously we talked about how they can fake it being dumb. That's the part that'll really boggle your brain. How far they go faking, because I mean, they really put themselves out there, but it's like, that's part of that mockery thing that I was saying. It's like, look, I'm gonna act like I can't even talk for myself or think for myself or do anything for myself, and watch, she'll do it all for me. But you're so busy in real life and doing everything that it's like if you're already, cleaning the kitchen and you're walking around and you walk through the living room and you see some cups and plates, you just pick them up and you know what I mean? Like you just do what you do. The more you just do what you do, the less they do because the more they know that you'll pick up the slack. And it's a slow spell because you just fall into it. You kind of just ease into it. No one just comes and, because obviously you would never even be attracted to the person if they acted that incompetent. They start off being really confident, like an overt narcissist. Like you're like, wow, this person like super smart and they're super in tune with me and they're so attentive to me and they're so loving and they're so, oh my goodness. And little by little they start being incompetent. Little by little they stop doing. Little by little they start breaking down emotionally. And those emotional breakdowns, it could be because you trigger a lot of their, you know you trigger them a lot, especially if you call them out. But those same triggers, they play with them. Yeah, they get triggered, but then once they realize, oh, I can screw you over with this, watch. I'm gonna have a meltdown just to play with your head. Look, I'm gonna pretend that I'm losing control. I don't know what to do. And I'm gonna get you all fucking invested in that feeling. Just so that because just because you woke up whistling in the morning, you woke up a little too happy today. Let me find a way to make you feel bad. So they do these things. And If you knew what you know now, then you probably wouldn't, you would have seen the first red flag like, oh, never mind. You probably never be married. You probably never have kids. You probably never bother having a relationship that's long term. That's the sad truth, folks. At least for me, it is. It's like, okay, because you got to give it the good old try. You got to go out there and meet people and make those friends and make those connections and realize, that getting to know people takes time. It's not something, I never considered that. I never considered, I should get to know somebody before I invest myself in them too much. It was like, no, I'm going to invest in getting to know you is how I did it. Let me invest in getting to know you. So I'm investing in getting to know you, investing in getting to, only to get to know that you're nothing worth getting to know. And there went my investment, you see? So it's like, no, that's obviously not the right way to go. Obviously. So, but it's also not the right way to go when you're like, I'm gonna just close my heart 100% and play everyone or be in that same mindset of can't trust no one. You can't be like that either because then you're no better than the narcissist that tried to put you. That's exactly what they want is for you to have the same defeated, unsuccessful methods as them. And it's like, no, let me, I can be very confident and I can be very secure in myself and I can be very sure of who I am and what I need and what I want, that I don't have to get moved by how you try to move me. If you move me and I like it, then we dance. If you try to move me and you're trying to shove me, be ready for warfare. And that's it. I think that's all it is. So I mentioned two, right? Those two. But then there's the one. This one is scary because that's the one I posted about today. This is like the one that would try to kill your soul. And I encountered this. I didn't It's almost like you don't want to accept this as a truth, but that there are actual, vessels on earth, bodies on earth with a certain type of spirit, and that spirit aims to destroy your spirit. Like actual. Now, here's the thing. Here's not a red flag, but like, here's how you'll know with those. They work in groups. They send one in, but it's a whole group. And you know, they'll trigger this. They trigger your highs and then they'll trigger your lows. And when they get you high, they, they shoot to get you to fall. Or once they get you really low, like in the low, they kick you to be even lower kind of thing. Like it's a very malicious spirit. Let's say like they know you met them and they obviously every narcissist that I've ever encountered or dealt with, they've never come as the enemy. They've always shown up as they want to be with me. They really like me. They want to spend time with me. They want to get to know me. They admire me. They appreciate me. They love me. And then it's like, you know, you think you're making a bond with someone, and what you're making is a very bad situation for yourself when you're not aware that there is darkness in the world. And as much as you want to believe in love, Real love and real care is a rarity in reality. So be grateful to those beautiful souls that genuinely, genuinely, genuinely love you. You'll know because it hurts them if they hurt you. And I'm not talking about that fake, oh, I'm sorry I hurt you. No, you will feel it. You'll know that they feel you. You'll feel because your feelings do not lie to you once you understand them. Once you understand how you feel, it's very difficult for someone to fake an emotion around you. So, fake words is one thing, fake feelings is another. Mastering them is a necessity. So, that's all, folks. I'll come back with another message soon. Take care.